Hey book besties, welcome back to my channel. So we've got a very fun video today. I'm going to be recommending you guys books based off your zodiac signs. Now I'm purely going off the vibes here. I thought of each star sign and I wrote down their qualities and how I view them, at least based off the ones that I've met. And I found books that perfectly correlate, in my opinion, with these zodiac signs. Again, just purely based off the vibes. And I think I've done a really good job. I'm very happy with my selection. So without further ado, let's begin. So the first star sign is Aries. Now Aries, in my opinion, are hot-headed, they're fiery, they are a fire sign. They love a challenge, they're quite competitive. They've got a lot of energy. They're really kind of like get up and go, kind of intense personalities. And they are the leaders of the zodiac sign. The first kind of book that sprung to mind when I was thinking about Aries and the qualities of Aries is none other than Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. This book is everything that an Aries is, in my opinion. It's fast-paced, it's fiery, it's gripping, there's a lot of competition in here. It's bold, it's energetic, and Aries thrive off competition, in my opinion, at least just the kind of Aries that I've seen. So I don't know, everything about Fourth Wing to me screams Aries. So if you are an Aries or if you're not an Aries, definitely pick up Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. It just gives me the same vibe as the Aries zodiac sign. I'm not really going to go into detail about what each book is about because, like I said, I'm purely going off the vibes of these books. If you're interested in these books, feel free to Google them. It'll give you a much better description than what I'm going to give you. So yeah, this to me, this and Aries, I like this. Same thing. Next up is Taurus. Now Taurus is an earth sign. Earth signs are very down to earth. They're very grounded. They love cozy things. They're homebodies, especially Taurus. Taurus, in my opinion, is the most homebody of all star signs. I just find Taurus to be very sweet, kind of simple creatures, and I really, really enjoy their grounding presence. And so the first book that I thought of when I was thinking about Taurus is The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry by Gabrielle Zevin. I recently read this book and it was just such a nice, cozy read. It kind of feels like a hug. And to me, Taurus kind of give me that same vibe. They're very comforting to me. And this book was just so optimistic. It was so marvelous. It was just a very cozy book. It's essentially about this book. I love that I just said I'm not going to tell you what the story is about, but I might give you some details. The only reason I didn't do it with Fourth Wing is because you've probably seen it everywhere. I'm sure you already know what Fourth Wing is about. But this book, it follows this bookshop owner. So he owns this very cute independent bookshop on this island. And he's recently lost his wife, and the book is just very hopeful. It's kind of him finding his purpose again and his meaning in life and finding love again and just kind of opening up. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention is Taurus are very stubborn. That's not my word, that's what the internet says, okay? They're very stubborn people, and our main character is extremely stubborn and stuck in his ways. And this book is kind of him just changing and evolving from that. So, I don't know. This to me is Taurus. You can't change my mind. It's a Taurus. Next up, we have Gemini. Now, Gemini are an air sign. And they are known as the twin sign. So their star sign, like the image of their zodiac sign, is a twin. Because Geminis are known to have two personalities. They've kind of got like these two sides to them, and one side of them is always leading them more than the other. And sometimes you'll meet a Gemini and one day they're a certain way, the next day they're a different way. They're very, very interesting creatures to me. They're very clever, they're very eccentric, they're super intelligent. And so the book that I thought of when I was thinking about the Geminis that I know is, and I actually, when I was reading this book, I was thinking to myself, I wonder if this main character is a Gemini, because that's kind of the vibe I was getting from him. It is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. This is the prequel to The Hunger Games. And when I was reading this book, Cornelius Snow, that man is a Gemini. Like, he has two personalities, he's got two sides to him. And when you're reading the book, you can just see that he's so conflicted within himself and sort of which side he should lead with. Oh, I love this book. It's so, so, so good. It's sort of him like choosing between what he thinks is right and what he thinks is wrong. And I mean, what he thinks is right is a little bit morally questionable. I don't know. This book to me, like when I was reading it, I just kept thinking to myself, I bet Snow is a Gemini. I could be wrong. I'm sure it says when his birthday is, but to me, like, everything about this man screams Gemini. So please read this book if you haven't. It is so good. Right. So those are for my Geminis. Next up is Cancer. So Cancer is a water sign. Now, typically speaking, water signs are quite emotional. And I don't mean that in a bad way at all. I love that about them. I feel like they just feel all the emotions on a much deeper scale than the rest of us. And when I was thinking about Cancers and just how deeply they feel, I was thinking about the book that made me feel the deepest. And that is A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini. This book, it just brought so many tears to my eyes. Your heart just feels heavy when you read this book. And that's kind of how I think about Cancers. I feel like a lot of the Cancers I know, because they just feel so deeply and they've got such a large heart, I just feel like their heart is heavy. Do you know what I mean? So if you are a Cancer, shout out to you. I hope you're okay. Love you so much. They're such sweethearts. And I just feel like this book is a Cancer. For sure. It's such a beautiful novel as well. This book to me is just about how love really can conquer all, and the power of female friendship and the power of love, and how even during the toughest times of your life, if you have love, you really can battle through anything. And I just feel like that's kind of what Cancers represent, at least to me. So this is my pick for Cancer. Next up is Leo. Now, Leo is an it girl. I'm sorry, but they are. To me, Leo is that sign that you either love them or you hate them. I feel like there's never an in-between. So, oh, I just heard my dog snoring. And so I was thinking of a book that gives me the same vibes as Leo. Like, it girl, you either love them or hate them. They're really in your face. Leo's zodiac symbol is the lion. Like, they are king of the jungle. They are, they are the it girl. They are the center of attention. And I love that for them. Good for you guys if you are a Leo. And so the book that gives me the most Leo vibes is Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. If you know, you know. You either love Magnolia Parks, just like I do, or you despise it. There is no in between. And same goes for Leo, in my opinion. Now, Magnolia Parks is an it girl. This book is Gossip Girl set in London. You're reading about the elites of a society. It's fabulous, it's extravagant, they're super wealthy, they wear amazing designer clothes, and you're just reading about the lives of super privileged, wealthy people. But it is so much fun. Like, it's such a fun book. The writing is incredible. Right, I'm gonna go off on a tangent because I really love this book. Right, back to how this reminds me of Leos. I don't know, I'm pretty sure Magnolia Parks is a Leo. Does it say? Everything about this to me is a Leo. It's in your face, it's fun, it's extravagant. Again, you either love it or you hate it, and it's just, oh, it's so good. So yeah, if you are a Leo, or even if you're not a Leo, this is for you. Next up is my Virgos. I love Virgos because I'm a Capricorn, so I really get on with Virgos. Me and Virgos are like this. Now, when I'm thinking of Virgo traits, they're analytical, they're clever, they're detail-oriented. They love like academics, like they're super smart, they're clever. Everything about them is just very, I'm not gonna say the word pretentious because they're not pretentious at all, but I think if you don't understand a Virgo and how they operate, they might come off kind of cold or pretentious. And so I was thinking, to me, a Virgo is the ultimate dark academia. And the book that gives me the most Virgo vibes when I really think about it is the OG Dark Academia, the blueprint of dark academia. And that is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I mean, it's so Virgo. Like, you cannot tell me that it isn't. It's the most Virgo-ass book. Like, the vibes of this, Virgo. Could also be Gemini, to be honest, but it gives me more Virgo. It's clever, it's detail-oriented, it's pretentious. It's all about how smart you are and which school you go to and how much money you have. And Virgos, again, they are an earth sign. So Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, they are earth signs. So they do value materialistic things, unfortunately, and status. Not so much myself, but typically earth signs, that is kind of what they value. It's status and money, just a bit more of the materialistic, tangible things in life. And so, yeah, just the vibes I get from this. This is so Virgo. You can't tell me that it's not. Love it. Again, guys, I'm so sorry if this video is super messy because I'm not really talking about the books. I'm just talking about the vibes. And if you came to this video expecting like details about the book, I'm so sorry. We're going purely off the vibes and energy that I'm getting from these books. Okay, next up, Libra. Now, Libras really remind me of Leos, but maybe a more subtle Leo. They're extravagant and charismatic and kind of the it girl like a Leo, but in a much more subtle way. Whereas a Leo is kind of like in your face, a Libra is just kind of smooth and they kind of glide their way through earth, but being very charismatic, very likable. Everyone always wants to get to know Libras, and I don't know, people are very, very drawn to Libras. They're super interested in them. And so the book that gave me the most Libra vibe, purely because of the character, is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Evelyn Hugo, if you've read the book, if you know, you know, she just gives me the most Libra vibes. Like, she is glamorous, she is beautiful, she is fabulous. Everyone loves her, everyone wants to be her. And to me, that just screams Libra. I think Libra is ruled by Venus, which is the planet of beauty and love. So I don't know, Libras tend to be super pretty people, and they do tend to be a little bit materialistic as well. They definitely love beautiful things, and like there's nothing wrong with that. That's definitely Evelyn Hugo, and I just love her so much. But she does have a lot of depth to her, which again, same goes for Libras. I think they can come across very shallow when you don't know them very well, but when you do scratch beneath the surface, there's a lot of substance there, just like our main character, Evelyn Hugo. So yeah, I just get a lot of Libra vibes from this. Oh, okay, next up is Scorpios. Now, Scorpios are also a water sign, but they're a little bit darker than a Pisces and Cancer. But I feel like they're very misunderstood. And so the book that kind of gives me the most Scorpio vibes, like this sort of dark, mysterious kind of energy, but very misunderstood, and they're absolute sweethearts deep down. And they're very loyal to the ones that they really, really love, but can be kind of cold to the ones that they don't really like. And so the first book that kind of came to mind when I was thinking about Scorpios is 6 of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. And not just because of any main character, although Kaz is very Scorpio, but kind of because of all the characters. You have 6 very misunderstood sort of misfits in this book. And when you first sort of look at them, you think that they're very dark and kind of troubled and, I don't know, just kind of standoffish, I guess, if you don't know them very well. I don't know, just the 6 main characters, they give me such Scorpio energy. They're very dark and kind of intimidating, but to those that they love, they are just the most wonderful and sweet and genuine person, but only if they let you get into their hearts. And that to me is just very much what a Scorpio is like, and the energy that I get from Scorpios. So yes, this to me just screams Scorpio. Okay, next up is Sagittarius. Sagittarius is one of my favorite signs. They are the travelers of the world. They are optimistic. They love to seek adventure, and they love to explore the world and different cultures and just see what life is about. They don't like to be tied down. They just want to roam free and fly like a bird. And so the first book that I was thinking of when I thought of Sagittarius, it's actually a non-fiction book, but it's a book that I love dearly, and that is Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert. This book was the it thing like many, many, many years ago. There's a movie that's out with Julia Roberts. This book is just such a good autobiography. Like, this woman, she talks in great detail about her adventures and her travels to Italy, India, and Bali. So she travels for a year, she divorces her husband, she quits her job, and she decides to go traveling for 1 year. She's obviously very privileged that she can do this. She is a writer, so she obviously has some coin. But she goes to Italy for 4 months, then she goes to India for 4 months, and then Bali for 4 months. So when she goes to Italy, she's sort of seeking pleasure. She's like, I'm gonna eat all the pizza I want, all the best food, all the wine. I'm gonna just enjoy my life. Then after she's in Italy, she sort of does a 180 and goes to India and lives a very different lifestyle. She lives a very spiritual, sort of simple life. No luxuries. She's sort of seeking God and spiritualism, and she's just trying to connect and sort of find herself. The journey that she takes you on, it's so detailed. You feel like you're actually traveling. Like when I was reading this, I felt like I was in all those countries with her. It's just such a fun book. I don't know, it's just so wonderful. It really, really inspires you to go traveling and just live life and have all these adventures. And that to me is just so Sagittarius. They're very fun, optimistic, adventure, travel-seeking people. So there we go. Next up is Capricorn. So I am a Capricorn, I am an earth sign. And to me, Capricorns are just such old souls. Like, I feel like I'm such an old soul, and I just feel like I've lived like 100 years in my mind. We're old souls, we're very traditional, we're introverted, we are observers. And so when I was thinking about a book that reminds me of Capricorns, the first one that came to mind, and I just couldn't get it out of my head, is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. So in this book, our main character, she lives for around 300 years or longer. And you feel like you've lived those 300 years with her. And because I view Capricorns as such old souls, like I honestly feel like I've lived on this earth for such a long time. I don't know if anyone believes in that. I don't think I believe in that either, but maybe I do. I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like I've done all these things before, even though I haven't. It's like my soul has been around for a long time. I don't know. We're gonna get all wishy-washy here, but that's just the vibes I get from a Capricorn. And Capricorns are super detail oriented. We notice a lot of things. We're very observant. And so, yeah, I don't know. Everything about this book gives me very Capricorn vibes. I also feel like Capricorns are very cozy and comforting people. And this book felt super cozy and comforting to me, even though like a lot is going on in it. I don't know. I feel like I'm not making much sense, but just this story and how this book made me feel just really reminds me of Capricorns and kind of what it means to be a Capricorn. So that's just the vibe I get. I absolutely love this book. So next up is Aquarius. Now, when I think of Aquarius, I just think of the word unique. I don't know what it is about Aquarius, but every Aquarius I meet is just so unique and very fun and kind of eccentric and just different. And I love that about them. I think they're clever. I think they're just very interesting human beings. And I always learn something from Aquarius. So when I was thinking about their traits and which book I think kind of correlates with those traits, I couldn't help but think of Clara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro. I'm so sorry if I'm saying that wrong. This book was one of the most unique sort of books I've read. The concept of it is very unique and heartfelt, and I learned a lot from it, sort of about humanity. And that's the vibe I get from Aquarius. I'm pretty sure their star sign is the humanitarian. And the reason I thought of Aquarius when I think of this book, because Aquarius are very eccentric, like they're kind of eccentric thinkers, and they are humanitarians. And this book is just a super interesting concept, but at the base of it, really, it's trying to talk about humanity and what it means to be a human and just kind of what it means to love. So Clara is actually an artificial doll. She doesn't feel like a human. And one day this person buys her as a doll, and all Clara wants is to feel love and to have the emotions of a human. This book is kind of interesting because it's sort of like an artificial robot like feeling human emotions, and it's what a lot of people's like fears are, like robots becoming humans and if they're going to take over the world. And even just that idea makes me think of Aquarius. I don't know why. I'm pretty sure like most of the scientists or really clever people, a lot of them tend to be Aquarius. I don't know, the concept is very Aquarius, and just the vibes I get from it is very Aquarius. Like, it's clever, it's witty, it's definitely different, it's unique, and I felt like I learned a lot from it. Okay, last up is Pisces. I absolutely adore Pisces. My partner is a Pisces. They are a water sign, and they are just the most romantic, thoughtful, whimsical star sign, in my opinion. They're super creative people. And so when I was thinking about a Pisces and what a Pisces represents to me, this book was just the first thing I thought of. And it is Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. Like, this book is just so Pisces. It's magical, it's beautiful, it's romantic. The writing is so whimsical and lyrical. And I don't know, it's just such a Pisces book to me. Like, it really talks about true love and always following your heart. And every Pisces that I know, they just really lead their life with their heart. Like, they don't usually think with their head. Everything they kind of do is always led by their heart. They make decisions based off how they feel, not so much what they think. And our main character, Evangeline, she has to be a Pisces. When's her birthday? Everything about this book is just so Pisces. Like, it's romantic and it talks about true love and there's fairy tales, and it's just, I love it. I absolutely love this book. And yeah, this book just gives me ultimate Pisces vibes. So if you are a Pisces, I think you'd really, really, really love this book. Or even if you're not, you don't need to be that certain star sign to enjoy or read any of these books. It's just, yeah, these books remind me of your star sign. So I feel like I've just babbled on for ages. I've lost complete track of the kind of points I was trying to make. But hey, I had so much fun making this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave me any recommendations you'd like to do for the next video. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bye guys!